What do you think, like, what's the Joe Rogan's phenomenon? Why he's the biggest podcaster in the world right now?
Before ChatGPT, after Google, the second most used search engine was YouTube. If people were searching something in YouTube, one of the Joe Rogan's video would pop up because he talked about everything.
Do you remember those times when the Diary of the CEO podcast was just a podcast where people would go and just start crying? By the way, do you think perfectionism is the case for a successful podcast or not?
No, I don't think so. Perfectionism is not a thing for anything. For most of the people, it's just an excuse to not do anything. There are like more than 1 million podcasts now. 95% of the podcasts have less than 100 views.
Do you think Sam Altman is a good person?
I have no idea.
I remember he went to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan interviewed him, and then on the next episode, Joe Rogan was calling him a bastard.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard too many opinions about him. Even after he's dead, I don't think anyone was talking about him being an asshole when he was alive. But when he passed away, then some people kind of appeared and said that we've worked with Steve Jobs and he would yell at us. He
was a rough manager.
Yeah, he was very tough. Smokers are lazier than non-smokers.
Why? Long-time smokers have very bad skin. You can see someone and understand that he or she is
a smoker or not.
Yeah. When you are doing hard things, you are rewiring your brain. When you are doing hard things that you don't want to do, but you are still doing it, actually there is a part of your brain that is growing. Yeah.
Physically.
Physically growing.
Do you think podcasts are the new universities?
I don't think so. Because in podcasts you can find snippets of knowledge. Podcasts are scratching the surface. You have to do your homework.
Yeah,
Podcasts will not do it for you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second episode of our podcast that still doesn't have a name, and I don't think it really matters. Today, our guest is one of my great friends and one of my oldest business partners. Please welcome Narek Amirkhanyan. He is, by the way, one of the famous podcasters in my country. And I think he is the man that actually introduced the idea of podcasts in my country. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. I feel less nervous actually on this episode because the first one I had with my friend Luca, but at the time I didn't really know him. So now I feel kind of very less nervous because I know you for maybe 2 years. Yeah, I guess we started working together after a week when we first met.
Yeah, probably. As I remember, it was I think you reached out to me. Then
it was me.
I checked out your page and I saw it was very interesting.
Yeah, do you remember the first question I asked you?
No, not really.
So the thing is that I wanted to start this podcast 2 years ago. And I reached out to you just to ask for an advice. Yeah. Because I was supposed to go to South Africa to interview my mentor, and I wanted to reach out to you and ask you some advice on how to ask questions, or I don't know, how to behave myself or anything. And you said you just need to listen carefully, and the questions will appear just naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it took 2 years actually to finally kind of fire my first episode. Yeah.
That's not so long. I can tell you that hundreds of people during these years reach out to me asking questions about podcasting because they wanted to start their own podcast, and only 2 of them really started. So you are in top 2%.
Yeah, I feel pleased. Okay, Narek, I really want to talk about your podcast because I remember you started your podcast how
more than 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Because even now when I talk to some people here, they have no idea what podcast is. And I really first got introduced into Armenian podcasts through your podcast actually. And I think you are the first one actually to introduce Armenia, my country, into podcasts.
I was not the first one, but I was the first one who became popular enough so people can research and understand the word podcast. What does it mean? So Rearrange with Narek Amirkhanyan. My podcast was the first one that became pretty popular in Armenia, and the niche of podcasting started to grow.
Yeah, I guess before you there were some maybe audio podcasts.
Yeah, there were some
taking
podcasts.
the audio podcasts into video podcasts with a great production, with a great microphone, for example, I think it was you that first started here.
Our production was not good enough in the beginning.
Yeah.
We still have room to grow, but we were the first one who like did it very consistently. Like we decided that we have to air a podcast every week, and it doesn't matter if I'm sick, if we can find a good guest, if it's a war or if it's a pandemia, like we were just doing it.
Yeah,
and we were the first one who did it consistently for years, and that's one of the reasons it became popular. Consistency and trying to find interesting people, and doesn't matter if they are famous or no. Probably Rearrange was one of the first like podcasts or not even podcast media products in Armenia that were inviting people that are not famous. Because people were thinking that you can do a YouTube show, podcast, or a TV show only with famous people.
Yeah.
And we were the first one that we like became famous without doing it. We had some famous guests, but we mainly tried to find people who are very gifted, interesting, and they did something in their field. So they can share their experience, they can tell some insights from their fields, that kind of information that it's not easily accessible in internet.
Yeah. I really need to congratulate you with the consistency, because I really see like for the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen that you would air podcasts every week consistently, and that's a really, really hard job. Like for me to air the second one took like 4 months. I don't imagine if I could do this every week. Yeah, and especially like I know that you first didn't see the results. It took you like very, very long years to finally kind of grow the audience.
It took around 3 years.
3 years.
The first 3 years we didn't even do ads. Like I was financing everything by my own and help of my friends.
Yeah, by the way, I know the story that it was also during the pandemic when it was the worst time actually to start a podcast when you are kind of financing yourself.
Yeah, it was like I quit my job, which was I was a CEO of big company, and I had very good salary and bonuses. I quit it, started my podcast and my agency.
Yeah.
And like month after that, the COVID began. And I remember when we were recording the first episode, like when we stopped the recording and like I saw that Tim was talking something and it was like weird, feeling weird in that room, and asked what happened. We said something wrong or something. I don't know. And they said, no, they just announced the lockdown, that everything is closing down.
During the podcast.
Yeah. Oh. And like we stopped the recording, like drove home and stayed there for at least 3 months.
Damn. Yeah, I guess it is the worst time to actually start a podcast, but how did you survive, especially during the lockdown?
We did the first podcast recording, then I didn't do anything for a month. Then I understood that this can like take very long, and we just started to do podcast with Zoom.
With Zoom.
Yeah, and we have a couple of the episodes in the beginning that it was recorded with the Zoom, and then after they like made some changes with lockdown rules that you can, if you have a studio, you can do your TV programming and that kind of stuff. We started to record in the studio again. But it was kind of very hard time, and financially and mentally it was hard because I was going crazy when I was staying at home.
Yeah, especially it's very. I don't know how did you feel after like quitting your very well-paid job, like in a very good position, and then starting a podcast. when you're financing everything, and then they say like you're not allowed to quit your home. You can't really make the same money that you used to do. So yeah. By the way, regarding your podcasts, because I know that everyone that knows podcasting, but the first question uh, everyone has in their mind is like, how do you find your guests when you don't know them? Because I believe like you had too many guests at this point. I know that you don't really know them personally before the podcast in some cases. How do you find them? And like,
In the beginning, I was inviting my friends,
yeah.
my professors from university,
Mm.
people from my old network, business people. And then, like, when it became popular, it was easier to find guests because, like, my friend who was a guest in my podcast, he was suggesting someone else, like someone who
Mm.
he knows and he did very interesting thing in business or in IT or in music or in sport. So he's or she's suggesting someone new, and then you invite them, and so it's like it's becoming a big network, like where you,
It's like a pyramid scheme.
yeah, you know like everyone.
Yeah.
So there are like people are introducing new people to you who can be interesting.
Mm.
And sometimes I invite same people more than once,
Yeah.
and because they're like very interesting guests, and even you talk for 2 hours, you still can continue talk with them, or like 1 year passed or 2 year passed, and you think that they have something new to say, and you
Yeah.
invite
Sometimes
them.
2 hours is not enough for some
I
people.
try to find people who did something in their field. It doesn't matter. It's business, sport, music, art, anything.
Yeah.
Like uh, like my last guest was art specialist,
Mm.
and we were talking about art and why some of the paintings are so ridiculously expensive, like $500 million for a painting,
Yeah.
and he was just explaining. So like I'm a very curious person, and that's
Yeah.
helped me to find new things and find people who know more than me about that things, and then I invite them and ask a lot of questions, sometimes very stupid questions, but that's the that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. I want to ask a question outside of this podcast because I just heard about that art gallery man about the paintings that are like $500 million. I just really want to kind of know right now, what did you discuss? Like, is it a kind of money laundering scheme happening in there, or
He was telling that it's like many things. It's not one thing. It's a money laundering. It's an ego. Very rich people doing it for their status.
mm.
So it's a combination of different things that giving these ridiculous valuations to the paintings.
Yeah, because this whole time actually my opinion was that it's just a money laundering scheme.
Not only.
Yeah,
Sometimes very rich people, very extremely wealthy people, just want to show off that they have the
yeah,
most
actually,
expensive or the most loved painting in their own collection.
mm.
Like imagine you have like $50 billion.
Yeah,
Like what
great.
else you can do? Like you can buy jets, you can buy yachts, you can have, I don't know, whatever you want. And there are
Mm.
some things that are very very scarce, like
Yeah,
paintings.
yeah,
So it's a thing that they do.
yeah. Hopefully, we can just get there one day. Okay, okay. Back to the podcast. By the way, a question outside of my list. How do people react when you invite them to the podcast? Because like for the last 4 months, I've had very different reactions. But the thing is, like, I know that you invite people who are entrepreneurs, for
Mhm.
example, or some professors. And those people actually didn't grow up watching podcasts. And when you first invite them, like, what's their reaction? Are they accepting it like easily, or they're kind of very cautious?
In the beginning, people didn't know what does it mean,
Yeah.
and they were just asking question, and they thinking that it's a TV interview, and they were
Mm.
coming and also sitting and behaving the way that they're in a TV interview. Then when we grew, and after that, a lot of podcasts became pretty famous in Armenia, and
Yeah.
the word people became familiar with the format.
Yeah.
And now it's easy, like you when you are saying like I want to invite you in my podcast. Most of them know, and they are like happily accepting. And some like older generation, for example, I don't know, I want to invite professor of nuclear physics who is
Yeah.
in his lab doing his job and do not care about podcast or media or anything. I have to explain who I am, what
Yeah.
I'm doing, and why, if he will become and we can discuss some questions, will be important for the field and for what he is doing or she is doing.
Yeah, I guess podcasts kind of took off in a very right time because interviews were getting like very, very boring. Just one-sided questions. I mean, it was very kind of TV-ish, very media-ish kind of the same questions. Like,
I think the reason is that people are tired of artificial, sensational things. They just want authentic, natural conversation. Some people, there are also a lot of people who hate podcasts.
yeah, those really kind of felt very kind of early ChatGPT-ish questions, kind of very generic. All the questions were the same.
Because interviewers doesn't really care who is in front of them. Most of the
Yeah,
TV
exactly.
interviewers, they have some questions that they need to ask. It's their job.
Yeah.
And I can talk about myself and why I started it, because I really wanted to do it. And I have like real curiosity to ask a question to the person who is in front of me. That's why I'm inviting him or her to ask questions and
Yeah.
to talk with them, to learn from them, to understand their experience, and to hear what they have to say.
Yeah. By the way, I know that everything in this field, in this niche, starting as a project and then it's becoming a business.
Yeah.
Like, when was the time when you realized now it's becoming a business from a project? When was that transition for you? Like, how many years after start?
Like it took us 3 years. After 3 years, I understood that we are famous enough to give value to the businesses. And after that, we started to reach out to some of the businesses
Yeah.
that we thought we can give value and started to monetize the podcast. So we have like 3 ad segments in our podcast.
Yeah.
Why 3? Because we thought it's not too much to bother
Yeah, the
our
viewer.
listeners.
Yeah.
So is the like good enough for us to have some business and not too much to bother our listeners with too much advertising. So our advertising will be effective.
Okay. Then I guess I can take more offers then because like
Yeah, yeah.
now, yeah, I'm having just one sponsor.
You can have 2 or 3 sponsors. Some of the podcasts that the most famous one, or I don't know, Joe Rogan or
Yeah.
Huberman or Rich Roll, they have like up to 5, 6 ad reads.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But do you feel like it kind of it kills the engagement or you
It does
don't?
not. I do
Yeah.
not see that it kills engagement.
Oh, okay.
Because we are taking only the offers that can be interesting for our listeners. Like we know our audience pretty well.
Yeah.
And I know that these kind of things that I will advertise, it will be interesting for them. So
Yeah, it's gonna be relatable.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we can give value to the to our partners, to our business partners, who are paying money for to us, so we can advertise them.
Yeah. Yeah, like especially with your podcast, because I know that you are not inviting just famous people who are gonna bring the views, but I know you are inviting some serious people. And then you are also kind of selling these brands who are in real estate or maybe a bank, for example. Yeah, first of all, it's a very expensive niche.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that niche very much.
yeah,
Yeah.
because our listeners are middle aged, uh, middle class, upper class, and rich people.
Not rich people. Yeah.
So we can advertise things that are well paid. For
Yeah.
example, real estate, financial services. Now I have a partner who is creating data centers. like each their project costs millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's for some of our listeners probably it's interesting because they are like CEOs of banks,
Yeah.
they are owners and founders of startups who someday or today will need that kind of services.
Yeah, like even me, I know that you have interviewed some people who were bosses of mine, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I won't say the names because I don't really like those people. I will I will tell you after this, but
You could tell me before so I would ask some mean questions.
by the way, do you think perfectionism is the case for a successful podcast or
No, I
not?
don't think so. Perfectionism is not a thing for anything
Yeah.
because for most of the people it's just a excuse to not do anything.
Oh yeah.
You can try to get better each day or every week doing your thing,
Yeah.
but there's no such thing as perfectionism. It's just an excuse to procrastinate and do nothing.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to finally realize it? Because for me, it took like
It took a lot.
8 years. For me, it was 8 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because like I was imagining everything in my head that it's
Yeah.
like some beautiful thing that I will do and it will be very successful. But when you put that ideas on a paper, you understand it's just like some basic ideas, and
Yeah.
after executing it, it even will be something like first when you do it, it will be poorly executed.
Yeah.
But you need somehow to start. Like your podcast or my podcast, we started like we didn't know anything about it. Like I didn't know anything about it. I knew that I like to talk with people. I really like to listen other podcasts in English.
Yeah.
I really want to do it in Armenia.
Mm.
I started very poorly, and when I listen to my old podcast now, it's very cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we started and we grew, and we still have a lot of place to grow. And I don't know, and now I'm doing a podcast in English, which is not my native language, and probably
Yeah, we are sinking in the same boat, so
yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, but at the end of the day, really, like perfectionism is killing everything. I mean, for me, it took really like 8 years, like perfecting the logos before I did my first bug, for example.
Mhm.
Like I remember all my logos. I've had maybe 20 failed projects on YouTube before Financian. Financian is my first ever successful one. That kind of changed my life. But I remember before that all my channels in different niches. I mean, I would have my logos only in blue because I thought, okay, blue is my favorite color. For some reason, it's gonna be very good. But when I started Financial, I remember like I didn't really care about anything anymore. So I decided, okay, I'm exhausting now. I'm exhausted now. So I will just pick a color that I just don't care. Like I asked AI maybe, like, give me a color or give me a name. So it just gave me yellow that I hate. Actually, I hate yellow. And now it is my brand color. And it gave the name Financial. So I really kind of started this one with just without
It's
giving
like you
any
just need
fucks.
to
Yeah.
start, and
Yeah. And now,
then you can become better
yeah. And
later.
the thing is, like, it gave me the opportunity to finally create something meaningful and something that's kind of worth the value because
Mhm.
what it gave me is just it gave me the opportunity to do volumes. I remember like I would create and post videos maybe once in 2 months, a month in the best scenario. But then I started like posting videos a few times a day, and it really changed everything because now I kind of started to fail faster, to learn faster, to know
Mhm.
what to post after it, what's working and what's not working. Yeah, so perfectionism is the demon, I think. Yeah, I would not advise it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. You just need to start to do it, and then
yeah, and then just figure out later.
yeah,
Just
because what when you do something, it's totally different than what you think in your mind,
yeah,
because doing is harder, and you cannot think think of all the problems or issues that will
occurred on the
rise
way.
when you
Yeah,
are doing. So a lot of stuff you do and learn. You do learn, then you do it again. You learn, and you do it again until you will see some results.
Yeah, like even in your case, for example, I don't think perfectionism would allow you to air an episode every week.
No, because everyone in my close circle or saying like you're out of your mind. You quit it like very well paid job to start talking with people for 2 hours. Nobody's going to watch it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because it was the first media product in Armenia that was longer than 1 hour. And everyone were telling me that people are not going watch or listen anything that long.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting comments that the podcast was too short. If it was like
2 hour
2 hours, because sometimes people really need to hear good content, and I think for our market we are delivering pretty good content. We can become better, and we are working on it. But what we have now is it's a good quality. Because like we have some, I don't know, scientists with 3+ hours episodes with 100,000 of views, which is a lot for our market. Where when you have like 2-3 million people and only some small percentage of them are using YouTube.
Yeah.
When you are getting that kind of views, it's like very encouraging.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to ask this question. When was the first time you got introduced to podcasts? Like how many years ago it was?
I think it was like maybe 10 years ago now.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 2015.
Yeah, probably.
2015, who was the first podcaster that you have ever came across?
I think it was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, then Malcolm Gladwell. I really like some of the episodes of Malcolm Gladwell. He had a podcast called Revisionist History, and he was taking some interesting things from history and trying to tell that story in a different way. And it was really, it's a different kind of podcast. It was scripted, very well produced podcasts, and it was not like he was sitting and talking with people.
Scripted.
Yeah.
Is it an old podcast, like one of the OGs?
Yeah, I think so. It's let me tell you when the first one aired. It's already on season 14. So August 18, 2016.
16.
Yeah, it was published on 2016.
And when was Joe Rogan? I think it was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, 2010 probably, or 12 he started. When I started to listen to the Joe Rogan, he was already pretty famous.
Yeah, I've seen this footage of him like talking in front of a webcam.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was his first podcast episode in front of the webcam.
And I really like Tim Ferriss' podcast, and it was like,
yeah,
I was listening to him probably more than Joe Rogan, and he also very old, one of the first ones who started to do podcasting about optimization, business, becoming better every day. And yeah, it was, let me see.
Yeah, like imagine starting a podcast in 2010, let's say.
And I don't think so.
Not 10? Earlier or later?
Tim Ferriss started in 2014. And he was one of the first one that I started to listen.
Like imagine starting a podcast in 2014, let's say. And podcast really took off like very, very recently. Maybe in 2021, maybe 2020.
No, not even before that.
Before that?
Yeah.
During COVID?
Before
COVID.
Yeah, I started to listen podcast in 2015. And it was already becoming very popular. But it became mainstream during the COVID, when everybody started to do podcast and talking about the podcast in USA.
Yeah.
Then it became popular around the world. Like there are like more than 1 million podcasts now.
1 million where? In the US? Or just all over the world?
All over the world.
1 million podcasts.
Yeah, I think it was Spotify or Apple Podcast who published that statistics. And more than 90, like around 90%, 95% of that podcast have less than 100 views.
100. Oh, fuck.
100, less than 100 downloads. So
Yeah.
most of the podcasts do not have listeners.
Yeah, and by the way, I think most of the podcasts are solo as well.
Yeah.
Without any guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because doing podcasts with guests consistently is very hard. Like 1 hour before this podcast, my guest called and canceled tomorrow's shooting because she's in the hospital.
Oh.
And we moved it to the next week, but you have to have a workaround very fast to not miss the show, miss the week, because we are recording on Monday and
Yeah.
we're publishing on Thursday. So it's a very short time, and with the short notice, you have to act quickly and do something, and you have to do it like to not find some random guy or a girl who will become and talk some weird stuff, but try to find quality guests. And we have a list of the people, and we have also we always have backups, so we can air and publish our podcast every week.
I mean, yeah, for you especially, like the turnaround time is wild. Like shooting something on Monday and then having it edited in a few days. I mean, we have edited our first episode maybe in 2 months. Actually, just because we had too many projects going on.
You have to like do it quick. You have to find a way, process.
Yeah.
To set up the operation the way that you can do it very quickly and efficiently. Like we shoot on Monday evening.
Yeah.
By Wednesday morning we have the first copy. By Wednesday evening we have the already copywriter who is writing the titles and time steps done. And Thursday morning we already have a title, thumbnail, and everything ready to publish. And even if we have some errors on editing, we have still like 24 hours to fix it, because by the Wednesday evening we already watched it and we can give feedback to the editor to say like to change something.
Damn, so everything is running like just by hours. Because you're saying like Wednesday evening. Because in our world it's like Wednesday or I don't know, just any day of the week, but it's not like Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. So when you say like evening, afternoon, I just understand and realize that everything is just running just on hours.
Yeah, most of the podcasts are that way. Like Joe Rogan, he's like doing 4 podcasts a week.
Yeah, that's madness.
But they have other processes. Like they don't they air it the raw podcast, so they are not doing editing. Like they're changing the cameras during the talk, and by the end of the talk they already have ready footage. We also do not cut the talks, so the editor just does his editor stuff, changing the cameras. We are not editing the podcast, like cutting something or changing topics.
So everything stays in the podcast, like no bloopers.
Yeah, it's when the guest comes in, I'm saying like, imagine this is the live stream, because whatever you said, it will go to the podcast, final podcast. Yeah, and in the same timeline as we talked. So maybe the most interesting part of the podcast can be like the last 10 minutes of 2-hour podcast. And to get more views, maybe we can cut that part and put it in the beginning, but we never do it. We just keep it the way it is.
Yeah, so for in case of like Joe Rogan, as you say, it's like, live stream. So the editor is working like, so at the end of the podcast,
they are doing it real time. Sometimes they are doing, they used to do live streams. Now I think they don't. After they start to work with Spotify.
Why do you think Joe Rogan has the shittiest camera in the world? Like after all these years.
I have no idea. Probably he's trying to keep the weight as it is. So because his audience used to that quality and used to that picture and color. Like when we changed our animation and logo of our podcast, we got a lot of backlash that the old one was much better.
Oh, so they're just used to it.
Yeah. People
Okay.
got used to it.
I think.
And the podcast is a lot of, for a lot of listeners of podcasts, it's just a habit. And people do not like to change their habits.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Joe Rogan cares about the production is only the sound quality, because
And it's the most important thing in the podcast.
yeah,
Like when we changed our gear and we got that the legendary SM7B microphones, Shure microphones.
Yeah.
The average viewing duration or listening duration of our podcast doubled.
Yeah, just because of the sound quality.
Because we increased sound quality. And when someone asks, I want to start a podcast, I'm saying you don't need anything, just a good microphone. And even with AI technologies,
yeah,
you don't even need the best microphone. You just need some shitty microphone, and with AI you can get better sound quality.
Yeah. We also used to use those tools. For example, like the one that Adobe launched, like Adobe Podcast, I guess it's called. Yeah, we also used it for a very long time. But then, like, CapCut updated their kind of version, and then they also added that feature, and it's working even better than Adobe. Yeah, I don't know how they kind of took over Adobe, but
Chinese are very advanced on AI.
yeah,
the DeepSeek, their TikTok, CapCut, they have some very advanced algorithms that are working pretty good.
As an early podcaster, do you prefer watching podcasts or listening to them?
I prefer listening.
Listening?
Because when I start my podcast journey as a listener, there were like very few podcasts that were doing video. And I was using Apple Podcasts for listening the podcasts.
Yeah, I guess that's why I can never understand you, because I mean, I started watching the podcast when it was already famous and everyone was already filming them. So the world was kind of shifting from audio podcasts to actual video podcasts. So when you start from video podcasts, it's kind of, for me, for example, it's very, very hard to switch to the audio ones. I've tried a few times to just listen to them, but I got very distracted. Like, I guess I now, as a Generation Z, for example, I guess, as they say, like, Generation Z has their focus time is less than
focus time.
like less than the goldfish focus time. Yeah, that's why when I'm just trying to concentrate and listen to podcasts, I'm kind of getting very distracted by various things.
Yeah,
I just need to look at something that's moving, just a person talking. That's it.
I got that. But why we started with video and audio, both, like back then, nobody was using Apple Podcast in Armenia.
Yeah.
And Spotify was not even available yet in Armenia. And like, because my background is business, I did market research before starting the project, and I understood that if we will start with Apple Podcasts, we will not have listener, because it was very extremely niche.
Yeah.
Extremely niche, and to change behavior of people with one media project could be very hard. But I understood that YouTube has a lot of users in Armenia, and it's a strong platform. So let's start with YouTube, Instagram, and also Apple Podcast and Spotify. With YouTube, we are getting, like, in the beginning, it was like 99% of our reviews were from YouTube. Now it's like 70% of our views are from YouTube and 30% are coming from Apple Podcast and Spotify, because culture started to change. And people starting to use Spotify and Apple Podcasts for listening, not just watching. And we are getting a lot of comments and feedback from our listeners that they're just putting their headphones in the gym, or when they're walking, or when they're
just
driving or ironing their clothes, cooking. And so it just like companion of when they're doing something else.
Yeah, I think that's a great use of time.
Yeah, so they're listening. For them, it's secondary thing. Listening to the podcast is secondary. They have like main task to do, driving or eating or walking or, I don't know, training in a gym.
Yeah.
And the secondary thing is just listening to the podcast in the background. But we have some hardcore listeners who are like putting it on TV and watching with family.
Oh yeah, I think that's the final level of being a podcaster, when you finally have a very loyal audience, when it's not just them watching it, they are also trying to kind of spread your podcast across their families and friends.
That's how our podcast grew. We never did advertising. We never did advertising, and people were just telling their friends about the podcast that they heard, because it was like new thing, and people like new things, and that's why they were telling their friends or family about this new thing, that some random guy from YouTube with a funny accent talking with interesting people that you could not hear anywhere else, and it from the beginning we got a lot of positive feedback, and it was encouraging to continue. Like I have a lot of funny stories about that. Like one woman wrote me on Instagram that she now has topics to talk with her daughter, because both of them watch my YouTube channel, and they whatever they find interesting, they talk with each other. She was telling before that, like, we were not talking almost at all. Because we didn't have the same interests, and it was like very like encouraging and motivating that somehow my podcast became a thing for a family to reunite, and mother and daughter will spend more time together.
Well. I even have some stories with you that
I would never think of that.
Even I have some stories like that are related to your podcast, but you don't know even, because ever since we started to work together, like, I would just tell to my friends and my colleagues that we are also collaborating, we are doing our thing, and they would say like, yeah, in our office we also have some guy that's also Narek's fan, for example, and then he starts to behave like Narek, like to dress in the same way, like having this
basic
like having morning rounds with his dog, like, and just putting in their stories. Like, everyone who doesn't know, like, Narek will run every morning with his dog and will put on his stories, and some people just started to copy it.
Yeah, it's a good behavior copy.
Yeah, great. That's great.
Yeah, like I don't know, I talk about good things that helped me to change my life, and thinking that maybe it will help someone else.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are writing me that they started to go to gym, they started to run, or they started to cycling, and it's I think it's a good thing.
Of course.
That's why podcasts are so popular, because people are sharing their experiences, and when you share your experiences, and some people find it helpful, and they copy that behavior, because that's the way how we learn, and I copied it from someone else.
Yeah, like, because at the end of the day, like, putting aside the business side, the money side, for example, when you create a culture around your business, is the most important thing. Like, you can have millions of views, but if you don't have, for example, those 100 loyal customers or loyal viewers, I'm sorry, I think million views doesn't even worth it. It's gonna be very empty views.
Yeah, you need audience or listeners who like your content and who support you.
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of audience, you will never want to stop. And I have that kind of audience. That's why I'm very thankful.
Yeah, that's why
because they support our channel in Patreon. They write directly to me. They comment, and they
support all.
I don't know, when they see me on the street, they will come and tell very positive things. And I would never imagine in my life that I would become famous and people will stop me on the street and tell me some kind words.
Yeah.
Like when I was starting this podcast, I never anticipated that it will become so famous.
Yeah, like even that Patreon thing for me is the most mysterious thing because, like, growing up in Armenia, not having any US background, for example, growing up, for me, like, just giving some money every month to someone who I just support for content is just very foreign. And like very recently, we also turned on that featured on YouTube that's like called membership. Like when people just paying you every month for having early access, or maybe just
Maybe just they
comment
want
replies,
you,
for
yeah, they
example.
just want you to be
Yeah.
and create content for them.
The thing is, I had that feature available like for 2 years now, but I just recently turned it on because it was very foreign. I thought, who's gonna pay me every month for to have early access, or so I can just reply to their comments like prioritatively. It was very foreign for me. And now, like seeing that you have a very little audience that's gonna go to Patreon just to have early. They also have early access on
They
Patreon as
don't
well.
have any benefits.
Yeah, that's very foreign for me. I'm just
We used to give early access, but because our production is so tight,
yeah, you don't have time
yeah,
already.
we don't have time to give them early access. And
Damn.
people just supporting for our channel to be.
Yeah,
So
just
they
for
are
you.
supporting us. If we will not have advertisers, our channel can continue do production.
Yeah,
And they know that they are doing it for that.
That's the final level in business, like because at first you are getting paid for what you do, and then like the most desirable stage when people are paying you because who you are. That's the most desirable kind of place to be in business.
Probably.
Yeah.
When you're creating value, people are appreciating it.
Yeah.
And maybe in our culture, it's not that common like in US to support your favorite creators or buy their content. But still, there are a lot of people who are willing to do it.
Yeah. Okay, and very quick break because I finally launched the book that I was working on it like a year. So this is the book that's called Shorts to Millions. And in this book, I have written everything that we are doing. Like even starting from 2013 when I just started doing YouTube until now, everything that I know about YouTube and about creating channels that can become successful and become monetizable even though you are not creating the content yourself. You can finally have a book that can give you the real blueprint based on real experiences, real difficulties, and real insights on YouTube that no one really knows. So now you can finally purchase this book, not the physical one, you can just have the ebook. It's now available on Amazon and on our website financian.com. So just make sure you click the link in the description, and also you can find the link pinned in the comments below. And go purchase your copy, and please give me a feedback in the end. Go ahead and purchase your book now. As I said already, you have guests that are like mostly founders, entrepreneurs, or some professors. Like, I just want to ask this question just regarding the business people. Like, have you seen any like common trait, common or characteristics of those people that all of them have like the same?
There are some things that are like you can see almost in all of them. One of the things that they are not afraid of taking risk. Most of them are not afraid of if they will fail, how others will react. Most of them, when they started, maybe when they became successful, they now are afraid to fail. Maybe they will not start something new. They just continue to, I don't know, do what they are doing and what helped them to become successful. But in the beginning, they were okay to fail, and they were okay to take risks. Also, most of them are they are okay to admit that they don't know something.
Yeah.
I can hear a lot when they say I don't know, but they're willing to learn when it will be helpful for their growth or for their business. And
yeah, so I also feel that sometimes they don't really feel the shame as normal people would do. So, because
Yeah, because he knows he already did a lot of stuff. He knows that he's smart or she's smart,
yeah,
and they know that someone who is in front of them may know about the topic much more than they do, and if they will lie, they
yeah,
will look stupid.
and they are okay with it.
Yeah,
That's the most amazing
it's
part.
for them. It's okay to say, I don't know.
Hmm.
If you know more than me, educate me, and
Yeah,
and that's
really, yeah,
and that's how they learn. Because you don't have to pretend you are smart. You have to be smart.
yeah.
To be smart, you have
Uh,
to ask questions, and you have to, like, to start to learn something, you have to admit that you don't know it well.
yeah, and
If you
listen
think,
first.
yeah, if you don't think that you don't know, you will not learn. It's like very basic thing, but most of us not doing it and pretending
Hmm.
like kids that we know the answer, or we're like very smart, or we read this book, but in reality we didn't.
Yeah,
Because like when we're talking with someone and mentioning some book, and he or she are saying, oh, okay, we read that, and when you talk with them about the book, after like 1-2 sentences you understand that they didn't read it. They
yeah.
like
Just
watched the summary
just a short
of the
description, and
video
that's it.
that is talking about the book.
Oh yeah, yeah. Really. I mean, while you were telling all this stuff, I really like thought about it that all those people have this Warren Buffett approach. Like, I even remember once I was educating a billionaire for a good 2 hours just because he asked me. And I mean, the thing is, I reached out to him just to get some information from him. And then he started asking me questions about Russian business culture because I'm also kind of very close to the Russian culture. And as you know, like outside of Russia, like in the US, in Africa, in the Middle East, they are not really familiar with the Russian culture, with the Russian business stories, which are very vast and very rich. Uh, and then I just caught myself just talking for 2 hours. And then he just said, okay, thank you very much for this information, and disappeared. And but I had too many questions, and I didn't really get anything from that conversation myself, but I
But
can
he did
just
a lot from he got a lot from you.
yeah. We became kind of very great friends. Um,
Yeah,
I
because a lot of people understand that the world is very complex, and there
mm,
are a lot of stuff that we don't even know that we don't know. So like there are like three part of the knowledge: things that you know,
hmm,
things that you know that you don't know, and things that you don't know you don't know.
yeah,
So things that you don't know yet that you don't know are like a lot,
yeah,
and when you realize it, you become humble, and you are okay to say that I don't know, and you are very curious
yeah.
when you find interesting people to ask question.
I've also noticed this one kind of particular trait of every successful people that they are too fast. They are
I
too
don't
fast
know,
in everything sometimes because like
not all
even
of them.
I don't know, like even like if you take normal people and them, like normal people, sometimes it would take them days to uh, answer
Ah,
your
you
text, for example. But if it's some successful person, it's gonna take like minutes, and
mm,
then you will get the instant reply if you are working together. They are too fast in business. I don't know about their personal life or
yeah,
in
yeah.
their
I get what
friend
you're
cycle,
saying.
but yeah, but they are too fast actually as well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
when you know
Hmm.
that what you want to do, and you know your tasks and your priorities, you don't waste time on status game. Like, uh,
Yeah, like
I will
let
not
them
answer
wait.
today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm terrible at online communication, and I can like do not answer things for days. But for
Mm.
in work communication, I'm like very fast.
Yeah. That's a good trait. Okay, as a podcaster, I cannot just ask this question. It's gonna be two questions in one. So the first one is like, who is your dream guest that you can have, like regardless the culture, nation, language,
I like
not from the history, just
The one that
Yeah,
will
from
will
just
lie.
the modern world.
I really wanted to talk with Steve Jobs, but he's
Yeah, it's too late.
disconnected from this world. The modern.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe right now I'm really interested on about AI, and I'm researching that topic a lot and using that tools a lot. So probably someone from who is like in from that field, like
Sam Altman, let's
Sam
say.
Altman, or maybe the guy who works in Google, that Deep Mind, the director of Deep Mind. I don't remember his name, but he's like extremely well aware about it, and they're developing some crazy tools. So it's interesting what their approach about the AI is, and what they are really thinking, and what they are saying behind the cameras. Because whatever you hear publicly is probably something that marketing team already worked on. Because like there are big companies and billions of dollars are involved in this field right now. It's very hot, and a lot of people are saying
Or
it's
it's
a
gonna be just
bubble.
10% of the truth.
I
So
don't know.
they are
Like
not
I don't know,
revealing everything
and
yet.
what they are saying behind the cameras and what they are working on and what they are telling publicly, probably different things. Because with that kind of companies, I interviewed some CEOs of public companies.
Yeah.
What they tell is very polished, and when you talk with them, you understand that
It's
like
too good to be true, right?
not to be too good to be true. They know what to answer every time to your questions. So team of people working with them and polishing what they can say and what they cannot say and how to say it.
Yeah, they kind of have their marketing department in the brain.
Yeah, because you are talking about billions, and one sentence can kill
Yeah, it
that
can
kind of
destroy
company.
everything. Yeah. Do you think Sam Altman is a good person? Because
I have no idea.
like his beef with Elon Musk, and then I remember like he went to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan interviewed him, and then like on the next episode, Joe Rogan was calling him a bastard, for example, because
Really?
yeah, it was on a different podcast. So he interviewed Sam Altman. Like Sam Altman has this public persona of very charitable, that he doesn't care about money, for example, that it's not his
That dude is
motivation
driving
and
like
everything.
$2 million car.
Yeah, no, it's 4.5.
Really?
Yeah, and Joe Rogan was talking about it because they found that video of him driving a McLaren or something. It was worth like $4.5 million, and Joe Rogan was kind of exposing him that way. That you see, like he was talking about that he doesn't care about money, and now he's driving a $4.5 million car, and kind of it also, uh, in some way, also gives validity to Elon's words, for example, that because they also started the OpenAI together, right? And Elon said that I'm truly have no any motivation of making any money, but now Sam Altman kind of turned into this like very um, monetary driven person, and
Yeah, they are doing it for they are monetizing the product. But there are emails that Elon Musk was trying to monetize OpenAI and took it to private before ChatGPT.
wait, what? I don't know that story, I guess.
There was a story, and when Elon Musk was talking about that whatever Sam Altman is doing is wrong,
Yeah.
OpenAI published some emails from Elon Musk
Mm.
before ChatGPT. That was Elon was saying we need to take this company private and become private company for profit. So
So it wasn't OpenAI.
so there are powerful people fighting for powerful technology. So both of them are
monetary
trying to get as much as they can.
Like
because as I understand, this technology will be revolutionary. It's already changing the market. Like now with our team, we can do like 3 times more work than before AI tools.
Yeah, really.
Generative AI tools before LLMs.
Yeah.
They're like helping a lot, and we are not increasing our teams
Mm.
because me personally and our team members can do so much more with these tools.
Yeah, yeah, they are really helpful. Yeah, I,
For
I mean,
creating content, for, I don't know, brainstorming, for research, they are really, really
yeah,
helpful.
not just for content. I mean, now I can't imagine my life made without my ChatGPT assistant, for example.
Yeah, they are becoming like an assistant.
Yeah,
For
like the
example,
best $25 that I'm paying per
yeah,
month.
I use Perplexity a lot.
Mm.
It's a search engine with AI, and it's an amazing tool. Like, I do a lot of research with Perplexity, and they are like, they do some stuff much better than ChatGPT or Gemini.
So like, what's the difference? It's just digging deeper or what?
It's like a search engine. You know the change that Google did when now you ask a question, they give you
AI
AI
answer.
summary,
Yeah,
then their like usual rankings.
yeah.
Perplexity is like that, but they give summary, they give sources, they give structural answers.
Hmm.
You can continue talking with them. For example, like, you can ask, give me like 5 top running shoes for this year,
Hmm.
and they will give websites, models, and that you can continue ask questions. For example, you can ask, uh, leave the ones that are that are daily runners,
Yeah, it's kind of
or
search engine assistant, right?
it's a search engine plus LLM, LLM. So it's it's very helpful. You can talk
Hmm.
with them. It will give good answers, and it
Yeah,
was, I started using it before ChatGPT added a search feature. They were before that, so it kind of became habit. Now for search, to search something in internet, I use Perplexity, not
yeah.
ChatGPT or Gemini.
Okay, I guess I will try that one out for sure.
Yeah, it's a good tool.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm the kind of person that accepts new things very, very hardly. Like the first time was, I used ChatGPT was maybe a year after ChatGPT was already mainstream. I'm just that kind of guy. I'm very, very hard to accept new things. But when I accept it, I just never leave them.
Hmm. I remember when ChatGPT was out, I opened Twitter, now X, and everybody was talking about it. The first
Mm.
day, and I said, "It's interesting. What is ChatGPT like?"
But that's also the scary part, right?
Yeah, I need to try it. I tried it, and I was blown away. I said, like, this was the best thing I tried after the iPhone. And I
Mm.
remember when I first starting to use iPhone, it was 2007 or 8.
Seven.
8. Yeah, it was first generation iPhone.
Oh,
Because already then I was a big fan of Mac computers.
and Steve Jobs maybe.
Yeah, probably. And when I first used first iPhone, I was blown away, and I remember that feeling a lot. And I had that kind of feeling when I used ChatGPT the first time, because it was like, wow, and then you say like, wow.
Yeah, it's a game changer. By the way, which one do you prefer, like ChatGPT or DeepSeek? Because I guess those,
ChatGPT.
yeah, ChatGPT,
Yeah,
right? Have you tried DeepSeek?
yeah.
Yeah, I've tried with DeepSeek maybe 3 months ago, but didn't really feel any kind of.
Like for Armenian, the best one is Claude, the Anthropic product.
What's that?
Claude is, it's the main competitor of ChatGPT. So there are like free three tools that are the most popular in the market right now. It's ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude.
Yeah.
And Claude is a lot of software engineers are using it because it's coding pretty good. And
It's kind of very nerdy, right?
Claude has the best Armenian AI engine. So
Ah,
if you want to create
okay.
content on Armenian, the best tool probably is Claude.
Yeah, I guess I will never need it
Yeah,
because yeah, I
probably you
don't I
don't
don't
need
really
it.
feel Armenian now in this conversation
Yeah.
because
I use it a lot for Armenian.
yeah, okay. Regarding Steve Jobs, because actually you kind of answered the second part of the question because I asked about people you would like to interview nowadays, and I also wanted to ask from history. You can name a few people, for example, more than one. I guess the first one is Steve Jobs, right?
Steve Jobs, yeah, probably Steve Jobs.
Why Steve Jobs?
I don't know, because I grew up using his products. I remember in 2006 when I went to United States for a study for a year. I was an exchange student, and when I first entered to our computer lab class, it was that the mock computers that, I don't know, you remember them or you saw
When
them,
was
and
it?
the colorful mock computers.
The
And
colorful ones.
yeah, that I entered to the class, and it was like full of that mock computers and different colors. And I used to and I thought, wow, what a beautiful computer. Then I started to use it in our computer lab, and I fell in love with
What year was this?
2005. 2005.
2005.
Yeah, I was in high school,
Mm,
and after that I'm only using Mac computers and iPhone. I tried Android for a couple of months, and I just throw away that phone. But it was like maybe 10 years ago. The Android was not as good as now. Now they're like,
yeah, they are dominating
they're
for sure.
very close. For me, they are very close to the iOS, and some stuff even they are doing
Yeah.
better. But I'm used to iOS, and all my life is in MacBook on my iPhone. They are interconnected. I message with family and friends, and so it's extremely hard to leave their
To
ecosystem
escape
now.
the
Yeah,
iPhone ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the most genius part of Steve Jobs, to kind of creating this cycle that you can just never escape, never leave. I mean, it's very, very easy to abandon Android. I was an Android user actually for 15 years. I left it very easily because nothing was connected.
now they're trying to do that kind of stuff,
Yeah, but it's
and
already late. I mean, iPhone is already doing it very well.
they
That's the
that's why European Union is trying to break it, because they
mm.
are saying it's very uncompetitive, and people
They are too dependent on
cannot
iPhone.
leave your ecosystem because you are locking them in. But from other side, they created products so good
Mm.
that it's hard to live.
Yeah. Do you think Android can ever overcome iPhone in that part?
I don't know, maybe
I
because
guess it's already too late.
Google is
Yeah.
already making their products that are very integrated hardware and software wise,
Mm.
and are giving very good integration with Google products.
You mean Google phones, right?
Yeah, that Pixel phones.
Yeah, but have you noticed that like Google is very slow in innovating. I mean, they are
I
just
don't think so. They're
y-
not
okay,
really.
but what's the reason that no one is buying Google
They are
Pixels, for
buying.
example?
They are buying. Their market share actually is growing.
Really?
Yeah, and they're doing pretty good phones.
When I just realized I've never seen Google phone in my life.
Yeah, because they're
Then,
not popular in Armenia, but in
yeah,
United
might be.
States, a lot of people are buying it.
Yeah, I need to go to the US to see as well.
Like we can check right now, but I'm sure their market share is growing.
Hmm.
But in United States, iPhone is very dominated,
Yeah,
especially for younger generation, like
I mean,
80 plus
yeah,
percent.
if we exclude China, I think iPhone is dominating everywhere.
Yeah, not really. Uh,
Hmm.
I think some European countries and US only that they have bigger market share than Android. Android phones are cheap, and a lot of people can afford it, because outside of Europe and
Yeah.
United States there are not so many rich countries, and not everyone can afford a phone. Pay like $1,000 for a phone.
I mean, I think about Android is like, yeah, they are cheap, but there are some hidden costs. For example, I've had 20 Androids maybe and just one iPhone. This is my first iPhone that I've had. And I'm using this maybe since 2022 and it's
Hmm.
still working the same way. But when I was using Android, I would just change my Android every year because it would just start lagging out of nowhere,
Hmm.
or it was very not durable as this one, for example. I would just break it very easily. So it's kind of like, I think it's much better to just I don't know, spend one time for a phone that's gonna uh, last you, for example, 5 or 6 years. With Android, I could never do it.
Probably, but a lot of people just cannot afford it, even if it will last long.
Yeah, it was the case for me. Yeah, I've had 20 Androids really. Okay, and I would also kind of very I would also love to interview Steve Jobs, but not for his innovative things, but for his mentality, because I've heard too many opinions about him. Like even after his death, I don't think anyone was talking about him being an asshole when he was alive, but when he passed away, then some people kind of appeared and said that we have worked with Steve Jobs and he would yell at us, he would put us in a very difficult situations. I I just it's very interesting for me because I know that as an innovator or as a developer, let's say, he was not the best man, but he was the best at picking the right roles, right people who are gonna kind of bring his visions into life.
Probably.
That's also the skill that kind of amazes me in him because
He was a rough manager.
yeah, he was very tough. He was very tough. That's the most famous opinion I've ever heard about him. That he wasn't an innovator. He never understood anything in technology. Let's say I've heard some opinion like that, but he just could find the right people in the right time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because Apple became such a big company, even after his death. Tim Cook did pretty good with Apple.
What do you think about that notion that Apple stopped innovating after his death? That Tim
It's
Cook
not
is
really
not.
true because they had a lot of new products, and I tried Vision Pro, and it blew me away. It was like amazing product.
I've never tried.
It's very expensive and it's not mainstream, and there are like no killer features that people will buy it for it.
Yeah.
But the experience of using that product was very interesting. Like after some times of using it, sometimes there were some points that I was forgetting I was not there. Like my brain like tricked me to thinking that I was actually in that place, but I was in Apple Store and was trying it. So it's amazing product with a lot of innovations, but it's not mainstream, and it cannot become mainstream with that price.
Yeah,
and
how much
with
was it? Like 4K?
3.5.
3.5. Yeah, pretty
And
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, and they do not have any killer features, so you will buy it for that. If you have money and you want to have like good experience watching some movies or going places virtually,
Yeah.
it's an amazing product, and it will become mainstream after they will find a way how
To
to
lower
make
the
it
price.
cheaper
Yeah.
and find applications in for make it like useful.
So imagine a world where everyone is gonna use Apple Vision Pro.
I don't want to imagine that kind of world.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of very similar story to the Google Glasses as well, because like
Google Glasses were too early.
we're too early, yeah, and
Even a Vision Pro is too early.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's a prototype. It's not like product for everyone.
Yeah, I guess I also heard that like Google Glass, the reason Google Glass failed is because the user the user imagery, the user profile was very too niche, let's say.
Probably.
Because they would advertise Google Glasses on developers, and not everyone is a developer. So an ordinary person who is just having a normal life or has a different profession, let's say, would not imagine himself on the glasses. So I guess it was just a marketing failure. But with Apple Vision Pro, just based on the advertisement that I've seen, is they are trying to make it like very casual, very just everyday gadget.
Yeah, but still, it's not an everyday gadget, and not everyone need it like an iPhone.
Yeah,
Also, that like I don't know, AirPods.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing product. Apple Watch became a very useful and interesting product. What else they have? MacBooks. When they changed they now have their own microchips. the M series,
Yeah.
which changed the game a lot. Like MacBooks now are affordable, very fast, and also they have amazing battery life. So
Mm.
they they changed the game on even on computers. Now you can buy a MacBook with like M4 uh,
Yeah.
processor on Amazon for $800, and it's amazing computer. They have
Okay.
they changed
Wow.
the iPads are amazing now. Like
Mm.
so they innovated a lot. So but they are doing it incrementally, and sometimes we don't see it. If you compare this iPhone
Yeah.
with the one that the last one Steve Jobs introduced, this is like amazing product.
Mm.
The quality, the screen, camera, how fast they are, and I have the latest beta that iOS 26, I think they call it. They also changed the design, and it looks very. For me, I really like this
Yeah, I haven't updated
the new
yet, but
design, the
I
liquid
will try.
glass.
I'll try. Yeah, I guess the thing with Apple Vision Pro is just the price. When they figure out this thing, when they can lower the price a little bit, or at least like 90%, it's gonna get mainstream. Because the hardest thing with Apple products is just the first try, because it's very inaccessible first, and then you are kind of can't live without Apple products.
Yeah, well, when the first iPhone came out, everybody were talking about it's too expensive
Mm.
because it came out in United States, and in that market, people were not buying phones. The couriers were giving them for free if they were like
Mm.
subscribing to their plan for 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
and they started to sell the phones for $700, and everyone was saying they're crazy. Nobody will buy a phone for $700. Or I think it was the first time. Let me check. It was $500 probably.
499 maybe. Because I remember we've had a post about the first iPhone product. I remember the price like 499,
Yeah,
499.
it was
Yeah,
$499
yeah,
for 4 GB model
4 gigabytes.
and $599 for
Yeah,
eight gigabyte model. Yeah, now
yeah.
they are 2 times more expensive.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was an amazing and very inno not innovative maybe, but very disruptive leader. Anyone else but Steve Jobs?
They also invented the podcast, the world podcast invented by
Oh
Apple.
yeah, yeah, I forgot about that actually. That the word podcast
Yeah,
came from. Oh yeah, yeah,
they invented this niche.
yeah. Yeah, thank you, Steve Jobs. Yeah. Anyone from the historical figures, like other than Steve Jobs, that you would like to have?
I don't know. I never thought about it because I could not have them. So why wasting time to think about that? Maybe I'm trying to think. Who is not alive?
Yeah, from historical person, or maybe alive. It's someone who is very inaccessible, let's say, but you researched him or her. Because I also thought about leaders like conquerors or even kings, let's say, from
King
deep,
Arthur.
deep history. Who?
King Arthur. Uh, maybe I don't know. Aristotle.
Aristotle. Wow.
Yeah, some ancient philosophers, or maybe Dostoevsky. I would like to talk with Dostoevsky.
Why?
Like the books had, they are like I don't know how to explain. They are too good,
Mm.
and they are like intellectually are very deep when you read it in Russian, especially. I read the English version of Brothers of Karamazov, and
Mm.
version is much better, and there are some nuances that are lost
Yeah.
on translation.
Yeah, they are not touching the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
By
would
the
like
way,
to ask some questions because there are a lot of stuff that I didn't understood.
yeah, I guess Dostoevsky is one of the few Russian writers who are also very famous in the US as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
outside of Russia, yeah.
because he's like world famous.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, I also kind of want to go back to the podcast questions because one of the biggest topics, one of the biggest kind of things that you talk about in your podcast is health. And I know you have done a lot of changes in your lifestyle as well. Like I know you were a smoker for how many years?
More than 10. I
More than
smoked for
10.
more than 10 years, yeah.
10 years. And then you quit. When did you quit?
3 years ago.
3 years
Three
ago.
years and 1 month ago, I quit smoking.
Oh, I thought it was sooner. Okay, I just maybe don't remember. So after 10 years of smoking and then quitting, like what were the main changes that you kind of felt in your organism or maybe in your appearance, let's say even?
There are a lot of things that are changing. How you breathe, how you sleep, how you eat, the quality of your skin.
Mm,
Because long time smokers have like very bad skin. You can see
yeah.
someone and and understand that he or she's
Is a smoker or
yeah,
not?
yeah. There are a lot of bad side effects of smoking. I tried to quit like maybe 4 or 5 times before I finally quit.
It was
And a couple of days ago, I was listening to some podcast, and the guest, who was like scientist, were saying that in average people are quitting 7 times
before
before
really quitting.
really quitting. Yeah,
But what was the difference like when you quit the fifth time? I mean, what was different
I
that?
don't know. I decided that I don't really want to smoke anymore. Like I really decided that I don't want to smoke anymore, and I will
Yeah.
do anything to not smoke again. And in the beginning, you only think about smoking. Then after some time is passed, you start to think about smoking maybe 10 times a day. Then after like half year, you think about smoking once a day. After 1 year, you think about smoking like once a month.
Yeah.
And now after 3 years, I think about smoking maybe every half year.
So you're still thinking about?
Yeah. And when you think about smoking, you now understand the pattern. And if you know that if you will not smoke now, that feeling will not come back for at least 1 year. So that's why you will not sacrifice the thing. It's that thinking that way. It's easy.
Damn, that's the demon.
Yeah, it's like you
Totally
as
different.
you know about Lindy effect. As long you quit smoking, if you are not smoking for 4 years, the chances that you will not smoke another 4 years are
It's
extremely
much
high.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like think about that. As long as you don't
Yeah.
smoke, it will become easier to not smoke again.
Yeah, I also have this theory that because like the biggest notion about smoking is about health, let's say, but I think it's much deeper than that. I think it's more a mentality
Yeah,
question,
it's
more about
psychology.
discipline question because I have this theory that non-smokers, I mean, smokers are lazier than non-smokers, let's say,
Why?
because I've just noticed for myself that smokers have some discipline problems because when you
It's not about discipline. It's about habits.
yeah, not just the habit, because as a non-smoker, let's say, I have noticed that I could work much longer, much better, and without any pauses, let's say. But when someone just can't, I don't know, work without thinking every like 15 minutes that he's gonna smoke now and then go have a pause. And I think just having a cigarette and then coming back and continuing your work is not gonna be the same. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know.
losing your focus.
Yeah, you're
It can
losing
be
your
true
focus
because
and
it's a habit, and you have to smoke, for example, every 1 hour. Like others do TikTok every hour or every 15 minutes,
yeah,
or
that's a different type of addiction. Yeah, but
some people snack. For example, they eat something.
yeah.
So it's I think it's a matter of habits and how you can change your habits and how you
Mm.
can form new habits. There are a lot of good books about this.
How to quit smoking.
Not how to quit smoking, how to change your habits, and bad
Oh yeah,
habits
yeah,
with good
yeah.
ones. So I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know
also
atomic habits,
yeah,
and also power of habits. There's a very interesting book called
yeah.
Power of Habits, where the author explains how habit formation works and how you can change your bad habits with good ones.
You think that you think that notion that you can't quit smoking, you need just to replace the habit is gonna work for
The authors, researchers on that topic,
mm.
they are saying you cannot, you have to change your habit with something new.
Did you change or just quit completely without like
Uh,
replacing to with a new
I
habit,
think I
let's say,
replaced smoking with phone.
with phone?
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I guess it's a good replacement because uh like you quit smoking 3 years ago, and I guess if you didn't quit smoking, you would still have phone addiction now,
probably,
possibly.
but my phone addiction is not as strong as it used to be. But when I quit smoking, I replaced it with Twitter, with
With
X.
Twitter,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when I wanted, I didn't notice back then,
Yeah.
but when now I'm analyzing what habit replaced the smoking habit, it was the phone. Then
Mm. Then
now
it's
I'm
Twitter.
changing the phone habit with something else.
Yeah, then Twitter is very different from what it used to be. Like X and Twitter are two completely different social media
Yeah,
platforms.
yeah.
Like the things that you can find on X now is very, I don't know, mind-blowing and very unacceptable sometimes. Yeah. And about your second lifestyle change is running every morning.
I don't run every morning, but I run like 4 or 5 times a week
Mm.
because now I'm preparing for Ironman. I'm also doing cycling and swimming,
Mm.
and I can say that definitely it changed my life because with running, I I I really understood what consistency is
Mm.
and like how we are artificially putting limits on us.
Yeah.
Because when I started to run, I was dreaming to run 5K, 5 kilometers,
Mm.
and I was thinking that run people who run marathons are like elite athletes, and it's impossible to run a marathon for people like me.
Yeah. How many marathons have you
For
already?
I officially I ran 2 marathons, but I also did 50K, which is
Mm.
8 kilometers more than full marathon.
Yeah, 50 kilometers.
Yeah, it's
Fuck. Yeah, that's impressive actually.
so it was something that was unthinkable for me.
Mm.
I would never imagine that I could do it,
Mm.
but with consistent training
Yeah.
and not quitting, doing hard thing, you became something. I became something that I would never imagine I could become,
Yeah.
and now it's like part of my life. And I cannot say that I really like running, but I feel better when I after run.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like there is a saying, choose your heart thing, and
Yeah.
my heart thing is running. And when I do it, I feel better and I feel mentally strong, physically strong, uh, to do things
Mm.
uh, that I have to do.
Yeah. For me, it's now boxing actually because I started boxing 5 months ago, and every time I'm in a training, like because I have a personal trainer now, and we are doing intense trainings. So, I mean, I have very little time for rest. And when you see me in the gym, I have the worst look because everyone is just I don't know, walking around with their headphones. They are resting like much longer between the reps, so they are not really sweaty like I am. Every
Hmm.
time like I'm in a gym doing boxing, it's like it's a hell. But then I just feel very good for the next 2 days, for example. The effect is lasting for 2 days. That's the amazing part, that sometimes for great effects you need to go through the hell first for an hour or two.
Yeah, you when you are doing hard things, you are rewiring your brain. So actually, you are increasing your willpower.
Yeah, the
There,
willpower
there,
and
there
the
is
discipline as well.
yeah, there is an amazing podcast, Andrew Huberman with David Goggins. They are talking about it.
Yeah, who
When
else?
when you are doing hard things, things that you don't want to do, but you are still doing it. Actually, there is a part of your brain that is growing, and
Growing,
yeah,
like physically.
physically growing, and it helps you to do more harder things that you don't want to do, that you want to avoid, but you have to do it. I don't know, for business, for work, for your health. And he was saying that athletes have that kind of brains, that part of that brain are bigger. People who lost weight, they have that kind of that part of their that brain, the brain, bigger.
Yeah, bigger as well.
And
Damn.
people who are doing hard things that
Wow,
they
so the
don't want
brain
to
is
do, when you do it, actually your brain the part
the
of that
brain
brain
is just
physically
enlarging
growing. Yeah,
physically. Well,
it's like the
okay.
part for responsible for willpower.
Yeah. I guess you've also already answered to the next question. Like, do you think your podcast would be as successful as it is now if you didn't change your lifestyle?
I don't know, probably not. Probably not, because you are changing, you are evolving, and the change is also influencing your product that you are working on.
Yeah.
Because my podcast is like continuation of myself, because there I'm very authentic who I am, and when I'm growing as a person,
Yeah.
it is having a positive effect on my podcast.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, the thing is, like, I quit sport for 2 or 3 years because I was completely like dived in into my business, and I thought, okay, I don't have time for sport. I don't have time for boxing, let's say. But then when I was maybe in the lowest part in my business emotionally, because I was working, let's say, 18, 20 hours per day. It was hell. And then I just out of nowhere decided that I need to change something, to add a habit, let's say, a hobby. And then when I just kind of shifted my focus to boxing a little bit, I realized that my business isn't kind of uh, didn't hurt because of it. It
It's
even
actually
became,
becoming
yeah,
better.
it's becoming better, and you are working less.
Yeah,
Just
because you are prioritizing your time,
yeah,
you are using it much better, because you are becoming more productive,
yeah,
and also you have time to like wind down your brain, and you are not constantly
yeah.
thinking
It's a
about
mindset shift as well. Like you're
about the work, and you are not in a funnel.
yeah, you are starting to sorting your tasks more correctly, let's
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
You start to realize your mistakes that you were doing in your everyday work. I mean everything is becoming much more visible. You're looking at everything from far behind, whereas when you were inside you would never notice the very simple things, let's say. Yeah.
There is a very interesting course on Harvard Business School called Adaptive Leadership.
Adaptive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in that course they have the idea about looking from the balcony. So going to the balcony and trying to look on the situation from up, to see
Yeah.
more details and to see the whole picture. And for me, like running or sports, they're helping me to go to that balcony.
Yeah, to have a different side from.
Yeah, and like start to think about issues or business processes from different view during the runs, when you are
Yeah.
most of the time alone in the early mornings, and that is helping you to think about a lot of stuff
Yeah.
from different view.
Yeah, you are reflecting my recent changes as well, because I'm sure you remember like the times when I was always in the office. Like you would
Yeah, I
call
do.
me, I would say for sure I'm in the office. But now I came to this point when I just hate the office. Yeah, I'm working maybe like 4 or 5 hours per day, and the productivity just went up because I remember like I was in all the departments in the office, like, and I was just facing the difficulties from very close view, and I don't know, I didn't have the side from behind, let's say, or other sides that could also help me to do right decisions. Yeah, but really, boxing kind of helped to even enhance my business,
Hmm.
very ironically.
I imagine it.
Yeah. Okay, as a podcaster, I want to know like top 5 podcasters that you are following them.
Right now, I'm not listening to any podcast.
None of them.
None.
Why?
Like a lot, I have a lot of stuff going on my
You have a lot on your
during my
plate.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have enough information right now, and I'm mainly focused on my everyday business
Yeah.
and trying to do whatever it takes. And when I have like I don't understand something, some processes, I just research it and try to find more
Yeah.
information.
But
Right
from
now, I have I'm in a phase of my life that I don't need any
yeah.
podcasts.
But I mean, based on everything I know about you, I can assume that you are more of a Huberman person.
I really
Like,
like his podcast, yeah,
yeah, because
and probably one of most favorite podcasts of mine all time, one of the best ones, is Huberman podcast with David Goggins.
yeah, classic, classic.
Because Goggins there is so raw and he's so open and he's
Yeah,
like
uncensored.
putting so
As
much
always, as
part,
always.
so much information and so much wisdom and so much experience. And sometimes during hard rounds, I can put that podcast and listen to fifth time. And
Yeah. I guess he quit his podcast appearances, right? Because
he never did a lot. He never
really,
did.
because
Like he had like 5, 6 podcasts.
5, 6, really, because
Whole
in my mind he was in every podcast that I know. Like I know that he was doing Joe Rogan's podcast like a few times,
he
and
did.
then he went to the Huberman, and
Yeah,
then Lex Friedman, and
he has a podcast with Lex.
yeah, I think it was Lex. I don't know, because in 2021 I remember like in all the
Yeah,
clips.
he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
Lex. It's like it was 5 years ago. I
5 years ago. Yeah, that was I was just about to say that in 2021 I remember like there were too many team pages that were just dedicated to Goggins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I remember that all this short form content started from him being as a speaker. Like this whole industry, the industry I'm in actually, this Financian channel. I remember like I would also clip some David Goggins content because back then he was very huge. He would just do these podcast appearances and just talk things that we just then turn into this short form and also some semi motivational videos, yeah, like
Yeah.
10-minute longs. They would just chop up his quotes, put them together, and making them like 10-minute long videos with his edits, with his marathon footages and everything.
Yeah, he's very big in internet and probably helped a lot of people to start
Yeah, I still
to
remember
do
his
something.
thousands of clips with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, what's the Joe Rogan's phenomenon? Like, why he's the biggest podcaster in the world right now?
4 podcasts a week. No one.
Consistency.
Yeah, no one does that much.
Volume.
Probably
Yeah.
New York Times Daily does like a podcast a day more than him, and it is one of the most popular podcasts. New York Times podcast. and long form. It's long, and he's trying to find very interesting people. And also, there are a lot of channels who are cutting his videos.
Yeah, just dedicated Joe Rogan accounts. Yeah,
putting music on the videos and
by going viral.
Some videos can go viral a lot. And he's putting a lot of content. He's finding interesting guests, and he's one of the oldest ones. And he is not afraid of asking
dumb questions. Sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what Jordan Peterson said about Joe Rogan. Like, he said that Joe Rogan is actually a very smart and intellectual person, but when he is in front of the camera interviewing someone, he is in the role of the viewer. Like, he would just put himself in the role of the viewer, and sometimes if he kind of feels that this particular thing that guest said is not really clear for most of the viewers, but he knows it, he would just act like he doesn't understand and would just sometimes ask very dumb questions. Hence, he's gonna appear dumb, but he's not dumb at all. Yeah,
probably. I didn't research his phenomenon.
Yeah, I think
he's very popular.
I think that's the number one thing, and the second thing is just really the clips, because like all this industry of like short form content, I guess 60% of short form content, if it's podcast, is gonna be Joe Rogan.
And also, when he started video earlier than anyone else, and also he had a second channel where he was putting the clips from his long podcast, and
one of JRE clips, you mean?
Yeah. And one of the things that he had a lot of clips, and YouTube before
I guess over 6,000 videos there.
Probably more, and others were putting his videos also. And before ChatGPT, like after Google, the second most used search engine was YouTube. And if people were searching something
I remember
in
those
YouTube,
times,
one of the Joe Rogan's video would pop up because he talked about everything with so many different guests.
Yeah, he's really multifunctional.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, what about Lex Fridman, let's say? Do you follow him?
I heard some of his podcasts, and he have some interesting guests.
Yeah, the guests, because like at first you think of Lex Fridman of this like very antisocial, very not talk active, not really animated, always in the same suit guy. Like, how can someone being like very calm, very not talk active, and just becoming one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and having people like Elon Musk, or the biggest names.
I have no idea how Lex Fridman became so popular.
He is the biggest phenomenon for me, because I follow him for like 3-4 years now at this point, and still don't understand anything.
I remember the name of his podcast was AI Podcast. Then he changed it to Lex Fridman Podcast. And back then he was talking a lot with technology people about AI and technology, and he was saying that he's a researcher at MIT.
Yeah, partly still the case. Yeah.
And it I don't know. I never thought about that. Why he's so famous.
Yeah. And what about the Diary of the CEO podcast? I'm sure you're also familiar with him, because now
he is doing it differently. He's cutting the videos. He's editing heavily, putting
the editing is the best
animations and some clips, and they are doing much more work than a lot of podcasters.
Yeah, like anyone who doesn't know, just go and check out his intros, because his intros is just our number one case study right now.
Yeah,
every time he's dropping a podcast, we are just watching it with the team, just for this intro, because the intros are just a piece of art.
Yeah, intros are very strong, and they're talking for probably for 3-4 hours and cutting it, making it the way so it will be engaging and interesting. Yeah. So they are doing pretty good.
Do you remember those times when the Diary of the CEO podcast was just a podcast where people would go and just start crying? Like,
Yeah.
I remember it was maybe 2 years ago, and it just started to becoming so viral. And most of the clips were just very famous people going there, and he would just
And
touch,
crying.
yeah, crying. Just he would just touch them very emotionally, really, kind of. You will see such people that you thought those were the most rational people that had no emotions at all, and then all of a sudden they are just
Like
starting
all
crying.
people have emotions if they are not.
Yeah, but he was the first podcast actually who would just uh, touch them emotionally, really. Yeah. And now he kind of shifted everything because now he is not making them cry. He's just
trying to make more serious podcasts.
Yeah.
Probably. I didn't know them back then, so I cannot comment on it.
Yeah, but even strategically, like I remember like he reached out to me 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months
He
ago.
reached out to you for clips.
Yeah, not just for clips. I remember like when he was about to drop the Mr. Beast episode. He reached out to me and I suppose a lot of like channels like Financian, and he gave us early access actually and said you can just
Cut it.
have it now, yeah, clip it, everything. So by the time we are dropping it, you can have your clips ready.
That's an
So
interesting
he didn't
approach. Yeah.
offer any money, ironically, but yeah, I mean it was just a nice bonus for me as well. Just
Yeah, that's interesting approach because
yeah, he's smart.
podcasters
He's
now
smart.
understand that if others are clipping you, it's only helping you. And yeah,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
have some in Armenia. There are some TikToks and Instagram accounts that are clipping our podcast, cutting it, and putting some short clips. And some of my friends are saying like, "Why you are letting them to do it?" And I'm
come
saying
on,
it's
that's very
like free
old-minded now.
PR for us because they're doing a job. They're cutting a clip, putting some music, subtitles, and putting in their channel. They're probably getting maybe more views than
Yeah,
what.
they might become the engine of your podcast as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Like,
and a lot of traffic is coming from them to our channel because people are in comments are asking where we can find the full version.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, our business. Like, we are clipping podcasts, and I'm still getting some emails from the podcast owners that we use their content. Like, come on, it's very dumb because we have used some podcasts that had like 600 subscribers, and that's it. And
Mm.
then now they are having like millions of views on our channel, and they think like that's a robbery, that we are a thief, but we are actually helping them because yeah, as you said, like most of the comments can be like where can I watch the full podcast, or who's the speaker, let's
For
say.
me personally, it's okay,
It should be okay.
and
It should be okay.
it probably depends on the case.
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask the last question about podcasts. So do you think podcasts are the new universities?
I don't think so.
Why?
Yeah, podcasts are big, good tools to discover some knowledge,
Mm,
but if you want to go deep, you have to study on your own. Find books, courses, or go to the university and study that topic. Because in podcasts you can find like snippets of knowledge,
snippets of knowledge. Yeah.
and watching too much podcast even can be harmful for your
Harmful.
yeah
Oh,
for your
uh, I guess.
for you it can be harmful because you are spending too much time and you are thinking you are educating yourself,
Yeah.
but in reality it's just a entertainment and a way to procrastinate because you are thinking you need to learn more to start something. Just
Mm,
start, do it, and in the beginning, as we talked, learn by trying. And if you are lacking some information, find a podcast
mm.
or a book where you can find information that you need.
Yeah, as a university dropout, everything that you just said is very kind of hurting me.
You can be a university dropout, but and you can learn a lot of stuff from podcasts. But podcasts
Mm,
are scratching the surface. if you want to be an expert, or if you want to be I don't know, one of the best in the field, that is you found in a podcast, and it's interesting for you. You have to do your homework.
Yeah, I
Podcasts will
guess.
not do it for you.
Yeah, I guess podcasts are also very kind of great way to kind of form your habits and hobbies as well. So,
Yeah,
for example, if you are lost or you are just starting out, you don't know really what you are gonna do. You
it's
can just, yeah.
podcasts are very good way to
Mm,
discover new interests, to discover things that can be interesting for you, can be beneficial for you.
mm,
But the rest you have to do on your own, or find a course, or go to the university, or find a person, or find a mentor who will help you, for you to go deeper on the topic.
yeah.
Because if you can learn in 2 hours about the topic and that's it,
Mm,
probably there are million other people who can spend 2 hours and learn it. But
mm,
in reality, most of the topics,
yeah, you need to
you
dive in
need
deeper.
to go deeper, learn more, try more
Yeah.
than a 2 hour podcast.
Okay. So they are not the universities.
No, they are not
Okay.
universities. They are more like interesting conversation about different topics,
Mm,
where you can discover that topic, and if it's interesting for you, you
yeah.
need to go deeper. They are more like discovery tools,
Discovery tools. Yeah.
where you can find snippets of different interesting informations, and they should not be common. Uh, they should not replace your education, because if you are getting educated by podcasts, you are
You're limited, maybe. Yeah.
you will not go far.
Yeah. That's a great point of view, actually. Never thought about it. Okay, it was very great conversation, Narek.
Thank you for
Yeah, I
having
really
me.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
Me too. Me
yeah.
too.
I'm not really nervous at the moment, so
Good.
thank you
This
very
was
much for this
probably
podcast.
good
Yeah,
practice for you.
yeah, that
And for me
yeah, that's
also,
great.
because I'm not talking to the I'm not talking in English as
Very
much
often.
as I need to.
Yeah,
I'm consuming a lot of content on English, but I'm not practicing my English. So this was good for me also.
yeah, great. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode. Just make sure that you subscribe, like, and also check out Narek's socials. He also has a private community, right?
Yeah, but probably if our listeners
Yeah,
are,
if you're not Armenian, just yeah,
it
forget
will
this
not be
information.
interesting
But for
for.
Armenians, because I know we have too many Armenians who are from the US as well. So if
Really, you
you're,
have Armenians in your audience?
yeah, I just discovered them. I didn't know.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.